My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows.
My wife fell on the sidewalk and broke her shoulder, and that was really something. So I had to look after her, and I looked after her for about 3 months. My daughter must have looked ahead, and she realized it was taking its toll. And so we came down here to talk to Barbara. Come on, let's go. So we just picked up and went. Coming to Woolston Park was the best thing for both of us. There couldn't have been anything better. We realized that. And she was well looked after, and I was well looked after too. The people here are marvelous. They are, they feel for us. And the thing that struck me when I first came here, people knew who I was. My name was always on their lips. And I think they have a wonderful system here in making you feel that you belong.
It starts right at the top, actually. The owner is a very very education-oriented, community-focused. It's more to him than just, establishing buildings and flower beds and filling it with people. It's his life's work. And as an employee of that life's work, it makes you feel like you want to do better.
A new staff member who was coming for an interview, and she was sitting on the bench, and I was running a little behind, making some phone calls. And when she came into my office for the interview, one of the first things she says, I already know I want to work here. She says, I have never been so pampered in I don't know how long. At least 10 people must have come to me to say, can I help you? Have you been taken care of? And she says, I never get that kind of attention.
When I think about working here, what I most want to come out of it is the residents to gain a sense of independence. I think unfortunately what happens is residents age, ailments come on, they're diagnosed with some sort of physical ailment, and they're said that's normal, that's part of aging. And what I hope is that myth can be destroyed so that they can get a sense of, you know what, no, I can still set goals, I can still work towards something and know, yeah, I don't have to be content with where I'm at.
All I can say is that, of course, everybody would like to stay in their own home, but when it got impossible and we found this place, we were actually floored at how wonderful, how welcome they make you. And the whole family can come here and visit anytime and be asked to stay for a meal. 2 hours notice, they can have a lunch or dinner with us. And then, we have the little parties, you speak a little bit ahead. But it's been good.
You can have relatively small amount of care and look after yourself to a greater extent. As conditions change, you can move into another phase of the retirement establishment, and you can end up finally in long care disability phase. And it's all in the same complex.
People can start off totally independently in apartments, and if one partner or the other has medical needs and requires more care, then they can move within the retirement home and get that type of care.
When we came here, the building was under construction, but I could see and understand by looking at the plans and that type of thing what it was going to look like eventually. And I thought, boy, this is the spot that gets away from all the things that I've been having in the back of my mind as being undesirable. It's open, they're spacious, it's the concept of a village with stores and facilities and so on. It just all made sense to me.
I started coming to Winston Park. Maybe people would be interested in just looking at what I had made. And I realized how interesting it was to expand your mind and dream up how to make big things into small things. And it sort of fascinated me.
And I remember her saying very distinctly, "But I have a hobby that I'm not ready to give up yet." And are we ever glad she didn't give it up?
She didn't give up her hobby. It blew my mind. I didn't realize that I could get people who had never done ministries before, but who had so many great ideas, who have been craft people all their lives, and all they had to do was learn to do it in a smaller version.
Right.
And I just was totally impressed with all the ideas that came up, and one thing grew to another. And
It isn't just the fun that we have doing it. It's the fun we have between one another.
to do it in a smaller version.
Right.
It evokes so many memories of when they lived in their own homes that
Think about it.
we just can't put it away in a closet.
No. So over
And I was
the
an
year-
operating room nurse, so you had some idea of what instruments you need.
Coming down and doing something like this it just keeps your mind working. Instead of if we didn't have this, we'd probably be sitting in our rooms watching television, trying to find something that was worth watching.
Yeah.
Going to bed early, nibbling on the potato chips.